Pounders, week 1. My God, I don't know how many of you were in the winner circle. Saw a lot of third, fourth, saw a couple first place finishes in some of those Battle Royale smaller contests. Congrats to you guys. We had our own sweat that it happened in like the worst fashion. I'm on the way home from the college buddy's house. We had the wives, we had the kids, all watching the games, chasing the kids. And we're driving home, wife's driving, and I check my lineup. And I see one sneaking up the rankings. We're at like 40th. And then Kenneth Walker hits a home run touchdown. I'm like, oh dear. Like, that's going to put us like pretty high up there. I'm in the car. I'm a pacer. Like, I need to walk around. I need to expel that energy. And all of a sudden, we update to third place. And there is no one with Kenneth Walker in front of us. This is the same lineup. There's 5 minutes left in most games right before the Mike Evans touchdown at the 2-yard line, which sent us down to 47th. We end up in 47th for 500. Kenneth Walker also terrible run out in the fourth quarter. You just can't have that. In order to run pure in these, you really need to run hot the whole entire time. But happy to say it was a very profitable week 1 for us, which is always nice. And then Mike Evans being our number 1 drafted player at nearly, 37%. He's the guy we don't want to score points. It just ended up being that way, but very happy with the top 3 ownerships. Amari Cooper being up there as a scroll against his old team, Dallas. Yikes. I mean, Deshaun Watson looks like he did last year, and that's maybe shouldn't be a surprise. Tyreek Hill, we're grabbing him at 1-2 whenever people want to give him to us. And then the tight ends were really just shit. Happy that we ended up with 17.9% pits, but also happy we balanced it. And using bestballoverlay.com, the overlay tool that allowed us to check our exposures with Mike Evans, with Kenneth Walker, with Achane to make sure we don't have like 40% Evan Ingram, 50% Evan Ingram, maybe not even as a bringback. He was a bringback in Miami. Maybe you want to be a little heavier on that bringback tight end matchup. That's fine, but you shouldn't have like 67% Ferguson with your Achane, and that's where the tool really helps you monitor your drafts as you're going through. So huge shout to Josh and the great work that he's doing over there. Bestballoverlay.com, promo code Pounders, all caps. Now, don't want to really harp on the week 1 slate too much. Again, huge congrats to a lot of the Pounders in the Discord. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, we're sweating out the contests there live. Link is in the comments. Link is in the live chat. Now, I did some Sunday night drafting, and this is a little tip for you boys. You have the main slate, the playbook. This is released on Sunday nights. So you're actually being able to see the main slate and draft these teams before Battle Royale opens. It's sneaky. It's called the playbook. Just a little tip for you boys. And I only did a few, and I was like, wow, okay, we have a great slate on our hands, but we want to get attacking it before everyone else sort of makes these players rise in ADP. We're going to start by peeking where the dog bowl is. It's at 9, which is perfect because we want to rip some regular main slate battle royales. We also crush pick'ems, which is like, not the typical for us, but I mean, hitting 2 5-piece pick'ems, and we're sweating Garrett Wilson over yards tonight for another 200 bills. Very nice. Very nice. Champions. I never use the pick'ems on the computer, so this is like a foreign website to me. Like, how do I see my stuff that's live right now? I have no idea. On the Selly, we got it down. All right, that should be filled. Yeah, dog bowls are going to fill slow, which kind of annoying. We're waiting on 8. 3.9%. So I don't think the ADPs, let me check. I don't think the ADPs had a chance to update yet, which is good. All right, and we get the 1 spot. Do you guys think that this is a week where you need the 101? Because it could be. Oh, wow, they did update. They did update in a big way. Oh, wow. I'll show you. I'll show you why. Hey, Mr. Pittsburgh in the house. Got a nice 1K on week 1 Battle Royale. Congrats, dude. Huge congrats. Was that a victory formation? Was that the victory formation? The $20 single entry? I took so much Kincaid and Coop. I am sick. Yeah, you know, guess what? These tight ends, you're going to have to sprinkle them in. It's one of those positions that you could get someone down the board that ends up scoring, you know, the most points. So it's just one of those positions where you could have a flat week. Just like QB, we had one at tight end. It was very flat. And if you scored a touchdown, you were basically in the top 3 tight end consideration. Now, it was the main one. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So finishing in 13th in the main Battle Royale. Congratulations, dude. That's thick. I'm assuming that you got helped by the Mike Evans touchdown, so I'm glad. I'm glad it helped you. We'll pull up. It's just funny how it works that way. It's funny how it works that way. The 47th lineup, that last, and it ends up making Baker QB1 on the slate, which is funny because if you guys watched our 24-hour live stream, Emo Cowboy was like, you got to draft Baker, but he also wanted Zach Ertz as the bring back. So directionally accurate. We'll give it to him. Wide receivers, I think there is a drop-off after these 3. You can even add Ayuk onto there as a little, not even a scroll, but like, let's see what his snap count is this week. We assume it's going to be more next week. And we also like Garrett Wilson. I am a little afraid of this. The 0 checkdowns to JT, sort of another reason, and the goal line work. Sneaking away to potentially A-Rich is another reason why we faded him in round 2. Kyron's here. Is anyone in the live stream with us? Maybe Fancy Guru. I like some RBs down here. So I'm tempted to just go receiver. There's also tight ends that I want in this range too. Let's not go Debo. Let's go Rashee Rice. In a way, I want a lot of Debo on my teams that don't have CMC, right? Debo, every now and then, will steal a rushing touchdown, which ends up making Debo really good leverage if you're not getting the 101 a lot. Another way to get good leverage on CMC is getting a lot of Debo. JT, potentially a very favorable game script with the Malik Willis-led Green Bay. It depends, right? If we think they're going to get this large lead, I don't think you see a lot of JT in the fourth quarter. I think you see a lot of the RB2. So it depends. Going to have to be pretty efficient with the tutties. However, I think Josh Jacobs ends up being a workhorse. J.K. Dobbins, James Conner, these 3 guys. So what's funny is last night, let me try to find it. Drafts completed. If you were drafting this slate right when it opened, Cooper Kupp was going, where was he? We grabbed him pick 5, but he was going later. We got Kupp pick 7 in this one. He was going later. I want to say he was around, it says ADP 4.9, but that's updated to today, I believe. Right? Yeah, that's updated to today. He was going around 12. So if you got on the slate right when it opened, and that's the playbook contest that came out Sunday night, he was going super late. So I was thinking we were going to come in here and scoop some Kupp at pick 6, 7. You were getting him automatically because he was going so late. This double tight end stuff's interesting. We get a free Kelsey. Sheesh. Jacobs off the board. Jaden Daniels there. And then we just scroll on RB. Kamar's there. You have Stevenson, who's not being drafted right now. We have Rashee too, which is fine. This will definitely be unique, that's for sure. The double stacking KC with the rushing QB. to put the ceiling over Mahomes. It's going to be interesting. This is one of those that you need a lot of scoring from KC. You probably need Mahomes to have a 28-point game, but Jaden Daniels to just score 0.1 more than him. See scrolls at receiver. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Pickens, probably staying away from Pickens this week in Denver with DK getting absolutely shut down, which is not surprising. Also had how much Metcalf last week? Results, exposure. We had 2 entries. The other thing is, like Burrow last week, we had 0. Stroud, we ended up with under 16%. Some of those pocket passers, when you have the rushing QBs that were free, they were free last week, and Jaden Daniels is free again. He's going pick 25. That's egregious. That's egregious. Even A-Rich. I mean, if you're going to have Mahomes going off the board at pick 9, come on. What are we doing? +4 for the dog bowl. You ready to draft JMO yet? Want to what? People celebrating JMO's great game on an absolute terrible pass by Jared Goff. Terrible. He had to slow down, turn around. That's the reason I was fading JMO. Is Goff. It's Goff. So let's see if he can pair a couple good games together. It looked good, but also Amon-Ra was completely out of the game script. So, damn. Worthy goes undrafted in this one, which is funny. I like James Conner here against the Rams. He was also the workhorse, which we expected. Najee Harris over Jalen Warren, workhorse. Tony Pollard over Spears, workhorse. Absolutely getting some information that we fully expected heading into week 2. Now the Benson thing, yeah, he's a rookie. He's going to be eased in, but I wasn't overly impressed. I guess he didn't pull a Tank Bigsby, so that's good. But one who did pull a Tank Bigsby was Travis Etienne, fumbling into the end zone on a goal line carry. Tough. Trevor Lawrence went 3 for 7 in the second half. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, let's take the foot off the pedal against Miami and let them come back. That's smart. That's genius. Oh, 100%. 100%. In a game where New Orleans scores 1 million points against Carolina and Olave has 2 catches. Now you're not doing anything. Unless you have a lot of depth on the bench, you're likely going out and you're starting Olave. He's at least going to probably be a flex for you. Obviously, week 1, you're hoping you don't see that again. This one's tough. I do think right now, Cup at 4 is okay. I'll draft Cup at 4. It's between CD and Brees. And the reason why we won't smash Cup right here at 2 is if Puka ends up playing, I would rather draft my Cup shares towards the end of the week. Let's just go ADP here. Let's be an ADP hog. Justin Jefferson, yeah, it looked like he was going to be on a track to have a big game, and then, Sam Darnold happened. Yeah, let's wait on the news for Puka, right? And this is one of those situations where Puka becomes a free pick. Puka's completely free. You can pick swap him. If he's ruled out, there's no negative. If you're last picking Puka, you're smart because you can just pick swap to whoever you want. But if he plays, Cup probably falls a little bit. This discrepancy of pick 3 or 4 versus the last round, last pick on Puka, I'm gonna wait on Cup a little bit. Now that I think about that situation, and this is one of those, in the dog bowl, I really think we can grab a big advantage on these early ADPs. Again, Stevenson on this main slate right now, He's going to be mixed in. He absolutely should be mixed in. Jerome Ford should be mixed in. Deshaun Watson checking the ball down to Ford 6 times is really good. Now, the game script wasn't there for Ford to have 15, 16, 18 touches on the ground because they were playing from behind. But it's a good sign. It's definitely a good sign for him. Yeah, I'm just going to be a QB slappy here with a falling Lamar plus Lamb. Yeah, we're going to be a QB slappy in this spot. Vegas, I think another worry, Zamir White, someone that we weren't smashing in regular season, and then you see the usage was absolutely gross between him and Alexander Mattison. Are there better days ahead? Probably, but Madison looked, dare I say, decent. So, we end up with over 20% Ramondre Stevenson. Everyone thought it was because we're Pats fan. We heard it from himself that they want to run a Browns-style offense. That gets me very excited. It's between these two. You don't love to see David Montgomery be super effective at the end of the game and just run all over the Rams for an overtime win. That doesn't mean Gibbs can't put up 20-plus points on 15 touches. Kyron, you're going to get probably 20 touches a game. I think it's pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty close. You also had Robinson with a good game. They're not on the slate. Oh, they are on the slate. Robinson had a great game. 1240, 1 tutty, and look at this. Who said he can't catch? 3 for 49. Puts up 16.4 half-point PPR points. While Daniels was stealing work, 2 rushing touchdowns. So the fact that on a week that Daniels gets 2 rushing tutties, Brian Robinson Jr. can still put up 16. That's a win. Get in the dog bowl. Only need 2 more. Yep, we're waiting. We're waiting for the dog bowl. We are waiting on you to join us. Last week I only did 8 dog bowls. This week I want to average around 10. All right, Bella, let's go. Let's go, fellas. Did you see the bet I banked because of it? No, Ben, what did you hit on JMO? I saw Jewish McCaffrey had a $200 bet on the books that JMO was going to be the highest receiving yards receiver on the Sunday slate. He fell like 10 yards short of Tyreek Hill to win $20K. Crazy. I was going to say, are you going to give us Gibbs here? I was going to say, I like likely as this bring back option in this game. I'm going right back to the likely well, fellas. We're talking about someone that had 9 targets. Marvin Harrison not involved. I'm going back to the likely well. I don't care if you're coming with me or not. Pick 23. He's going to rise. 100%. We get pick 6 in the dog bowl. Shout out to Shock Trauma. Shout out to Lee getting a ticket, a Bestball overlay user. Dave in the house here at 8. EDN 3 was close. Nez was close. Ben's here at 5 next to us, keeping us cozy and warm. Oh, I was rooting for the JMO 10-yard catch. It went to overtime. Yeah, I went like plus 500. It's a kick in the dick when Baker Mayfield ruins your plans of a top 3 finish on the main slate. It's really tough. I want both of these guys. How do I get both of them? I just can't, right? So maybe this isn't a Puka team. I think we go Jacobs here. Like, do they just lean on the run with no Jordan Love? All right, pick 6. Ugh, kind of a gross spot. I'm not going Justin Jefferson. I'm not going Lamar Jackson. It's probably it's probably Evans. Evans absolutely cooked Detroit last year. Here it is. It's actually you can see it in the. It's probably Evans. Again, I think I want to be drafting running back in the last round of these battle royales. That was directionally, it wasn't directionally, it was accurate last week. Sent you the pick on the Discord. So nice, I bet it twice. Ooh. Let's have a peek. JMO anytime touchdown. JMO 110 plus yards. Let's go, dude. Ooh, nice little $800 bet. Hell yeah. We had another 5-piece. We almost hit 3 5-pieces in the pick'ems yesterday. I needed one more yard from Bijan on the ground to hit an extra $800. Oh, God. The 0.5. The 0.5. But guess what? We got to celebrate a 0.5 win on the James Cook under rushing yard. So you win some, you lose some. At least we didn't take the L on both of them. That would have been tragic. Yeah, so you're going to see QBs fall in this, which I think in sharper rooms should happen. Jamar Chase, week 2. Man, it's probably close between Chase and Mike Evans for me in this 6-7 spot. I'm not going Rice or Justin Jefferson until Chase is off the board. Against KC, he just got a really good track record. So this is a free Puka click. This is what I'm talking about. We can just pick swap to anyone we want when he doesn't or does play. The thing is, I believe he entered camp with this bursa issue in his knee, and he fell on that same knee. We'll take one of these two. We have Gibbs as the bringback, if that matters. Here we go. And we're off to the races here. Waddles, how'd you guys do in week 1 of the Battle Royale slate? All right, now we get to focus. Let's focus on this Battle Royale contest here. Mike Evans, Gibbs, and I saw Lee right at the top of the board. Results. Let's go to Dog Bulls, Dark Sheep, running back pick 34. What was surprising is this. Lee, Chad, got Jaden Daniels at pick 62. What? What a gift. What a gift. Pick 62. Kamara was sharp just from, he was someone that I said that we're going to want a lot of in the Dog Bowl, not as much in Battle Royale. That ended up being accurate. He gets there with a Chase 9.2 team. You don't need the nuts. That's the thing about these Dog Bowls. You don't need the nuts. No one had the nuts. Although this Baker double stack is pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. If this was like Juwan Johnson, like you're probably one player off and it's a running back. But Aaron Jones was good last week. Jaden Daniels at 20, A-Rich at 24. This is making more sense that in the Dog Bowl, they're going closer to Lamar and Mahomes than they are in the other contest. Hey, there he is, dude. There he is. He already gets his ticket. Punch one in for the boys. He's going to Dallas. He's going to Dallas. Get your cowboy hat ready. Get your cowboy hat ready. Interesting spot here. I do think there's a dip off. Want to say if McBride's there, we go McBride and we try to get Kyler on the way back around. Two of these teams behind us already have a QB. I like Kittle as someone that can break a slate, but let's go Kittle. Hey, Shock in the house. Shock is at the 2 spot. Shock, what did you win yesterday? I believe you told me in the DMs you won something, right? Or maybe I saw it in the trophy case on the Discord. But yeah, Coop finishes in 3rd place. We had Nate tied for 4th. Pounder in the 4th place for the main BR. Just absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. So shout out to Nate's and Coop. Crushed. That last Baker Tutty. My God, Washington. My God. The double reverse too. I love it. There's so many contests that I'm like, I don't even remember if I did that one. Holy smokes. Yeah. I'm sure he has a couple pairs you can borrow. He's probably got a white pair and a red pair. Kyler probably goes too late in this, boys. Same thing with McBride. McBride probably goes a little too late, but I do like fading tight end here. Like, I do think like Colby Parkinson's probably a fucking really good scroll right now. Even someone like Pat Fry, Hunter Henry. I'm gonna have to check the snap count, but I don't believe he was definitely on. He was definitely on account. Conklin goes super down the board just because we haven't seen him play yet. That doesn't seem right. Juwan Johnson in a game script that they should have to be throwing. He's always good for some red zone targets. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into the snaps today a little further. But there's some players that we expected to be eased into it, either coming off injuries or limited use in the training camp. Kind of like Juwan. Juwan and Hunter Henry are two that were sort of battling injuries. Coming up here, who do we have at RB? Yes. Just yes. Just yes. Who do we have at receiver? If Puka plays, Puka rises how many picks? Who do we have at QB? And then T. Higgins. Like, where's T. Higgins going? T. Higgins is going so far down the board. Running back is pretty deep. Like, all the way to Singletary. Singletary shouldn't be going behind a couple of these guys, but... Receiver seems to fall off a little bit. Olave goes. That's probably the click here in the spot. How much risk do you want to bake in to your lineups, right? Like, do you want to bake in that Puka plays? He probably ends up being a pretty good click here at 43. We should be able to get DK here in this exact spot tomorrow. So let's bake in a little bit of risk, boys. It wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be us if we didn't do that. I mean, we're shooting for a top outcome, right? Do we expect Puka to play? God, I'm not overly confident. It's probably like 40%. It's probably like 40%. Now, they lost week 1, which probably helps if there's a chance of him playing, getting back on the field sooner than later. I'm playing it as Puka's out. Swap to Demarcus Robinson is not the worst thing in the world. Exactly. Or you find another sneaky swap that's just not Demarcus Robinson. Because you know that's going to be probably one of the higher owned swaps. But 7 targets, not bad, especially for when Puka got hurt. Tyler Johnson. Robinson played 90% snaps. Yeah, so I mean, from a number standpoint, you probably have to swap to Puka. But let's see who's left on the board down here. Shaheed looked like he was going to blow up the slate, and then he completely stopped after that one long tutty, which is just Shaheed. That's the most Shaheed thing to do. Very Shaheed-like stat line. Kirk, I think this was surprising, right? If you told me there was a week where Evan Ingram had 1 catch or 2 catches, whatever it was low, that Kirk would have under 3 catches, like, I would have said no way. But they both end up with like 1 catch. It's like, yeah, you're probably not going to beat Miami if you're not using your best pieces. But BTJ looked really good. Really happy with the 11% BTJ we got. I think he's going to be an absolute force coming down the line. Wan'Dale Robinson pulled 12 targets. Hello, sneaky option. Hello, sneaky option. Are we going last pick tight end here? Or QB? Probably. Where's the Cup team? I was going to say, where's the Cup team? Get Staffy off the board. Okay. I mean, if we learned anything from last week is Baker Mayfield is in play. So, yeah, so Pickens is still here, which isn't too surprising. However, Tony Pollard against the Jets is interesting. Stevenson against Seattle, 28 touches, definitely promising. And I think the Patriots should be able to keep this game script pretty run-friendly. So let's last pick our QB. I kind of like the Jags. So hype on BTJ. You love to see the usage in week 1. You love to see the toe-tapping touchdown, something that Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley couldn't get right last year. Zay Jones when he was healthy for all of the few games he played. Yes. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Now, Gibson is dealing with a hip injury. Does he get a little more healthy? Does he see some more usage next week? Maybe, but like I still think Stevenson in this game script, if I'm like picturing how this game script's going to go against Seattle, I'm seeing it as a very good game script for Stevenson. Let's see. Is that going to upload now? All right. So, guys, if you guys download bestballoverlay.com, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to get the game spreads. You're going to be able to see the dome games. You're going to be able to see the team implied totals. Dallas 26, New Orleans 19.5. These update as the week go. The weather, not going to care about it on a day like today, like Monday, we're so far out. But on Saturday, Friday, you see wind speeds of like 25, gusts up to 30. Like, there's some stuff that can make some impacts on some of your picks. On top of that, if you're doing any sort of volume drafting and you want to get different combinations, this tool on the go, you can say, hey, I'm drafting a lot of Gibbs and Evans. What's my combined ownership of those two? I don't want them together on 50% of teams. So you can get different that way. And this really helps with tight ends. Like tight ends and QBs, I don't want to be too heavily stacked. Like I had a ton of Mike Evans last week. I had a ton of Achane, 2 players that hit. I don't want like 47% Njoku. And if you're click heavy, you're clicking the same guys a lot. Like you can get stuck in these zones without you even knowing, just falling into ADP. This is something Josh is working on. So this is going to be an update probably within the next 2 weeks. It's going to automatically pull from your CSV, so you don't have to go in, download, upload from email, which only takes 15 seconds. The bake, dude. Are we running it back with the bake? I think we have to. Now that Staffy's off the board, we could also do some weird Jared Goff to Gibbs. But the bake definitely in play, boys. The bake definitely in play. I mean, 50.5 total on this game as well in a dome. We have the game stack with Gibbs as the bring back. Stay hot. Stay hot, Bake. Stay hot. See how this one finishes out. Another sharp thing I think you can be doing is doing this, right? And then using, like, if you're on your phone, you can take a screenshot, but I'll just take a quick snip of this draft board when it gets down to the last couple picks, just to see these teams and see what people are doing here. Yes, Harmon, this is perfect usage right here. Completely agree. I'm ripping like 20 BRs off my phone's vibes base. And I do a little bit of this as well, right? Especially early into the contest. The overlay is great for identifying maybe those big games that you want to be heavy on. Do you really want to be game stacking a 37-point total in Pittsburgh, Denver? Maybe that's the game you need. Probably not. But going a little vibes based early is not bad, right? Get your first 15, 20 out of the way. Download the CSV on the overlay, and then see where your exposures lie. And then throughout the week, you can make those little changes. You can see what your Baker, Mike Evans, Gibbs bring back is, all that sort of thing. So, Coop in the house, what's up, baby? We have an absolute beautiful update coming to the overlay as well in the next few days. So excited to be pushing that out soon. Neil's crushing it in the DFS content. If you guys are playing DFS on DraftKings, most likely, go check out Neil's channel. He's crushing. Mr. Pittsburgh says the Bestball overlay is genuinely a must-have, man. It's been unbelievable. It's been unbelievable for me to be to on the go, just not have to think back to what percent do I have of this guy, and you can even know your overall exposures, but to know your combinations on the go is so important. So important. So I do recommend just checking that out. Puka week to week. Yeah, Puka's probably not going to play. Like I said, I lean that he's not going to play. Does the week one loss, if there's even a chance of him playing, kind of push him in that direction? Maybe. Cup season. God damn. He's going to get there in a weird way. I am glad I am over 8%. I believe we're at 10%. So we have more than our safety blanket on Cup, which, God, we always thought if there was going to be an injury, Demarcus Robinson would hit, right? But we were thinking it was probably going to be old man Cup. And here we go into a regular main slate BR. Is it a week week 2 101 type of week where you need CMC? He goes off for like 30 plus points, 2 to 3 touchdowns. He breaks so many slates. We saw this a lot last year where you needed the 101, which automatically gets rid of if you're an even variance type guy. 84%, 83.5% of your lineups, which is so punishing. I like it when the slate it bounces around. Like, you don't need anyone in the 101 or 102, and you can just build your lineup. But what are ways to leverage CMC, right? Grabbing Ayuk. Usually grabbing Debo, who could steal a rushing touchdown, is going to be my favorite. But Henry is a mega smash this week, right? It feels like it. I mean, either him or Lamar. Lamar didn't get in last week. Probably gets in this week. I like this, though. Pick 4 is comfy. I do think pick 5, pick 6, there's a drop-off. I will say that. Pick 1 through 4 feels pretty comfy. Pick 5, Amon-Ra. Pick 6, JJ. In these BRs, seems like a down tick. Let's actually go Cup here. Cup and Chase, or Cup and Evans, any of these combinations of McCaffrey, Hall, Lamb with round 2 Chase and Evans, I have to think that Chase rises and this becomes a tougher combination to get later in the week. How much tougher? I mean, Chase should be going in front of Rice. He probably should be going ahead of JT. He should be going ahead of Mahomes. So that's 3 picks. It'll be a little tougher. Won't be impossible, but it'll be a little tougher. Gonna get these combos early. Get ahead of the risers is good. You can leverage the field that way too. If the last 70% of drafters, 75% of drafters can't get a combination that ends up hitting, like if you need Chase and Cup. Oh, come on. We can't victory lap the injuries. And even I'm like at 8% Puka, at 10% Cup. Cup is my highest drafted player overall in Bestball. Oh my God. Chad, you probably still have the tracksuit on from last night running laps. I would. Kyron here for us? No, we have Cup. Not that it's impossible or that we would never want to do it. But let's actually go Derrick Henry here. Had a pretty brutal week 1. Usage looked terrible, but also game script against KC, I think definitely plays a role. In Las Vegas, with the lead, this should be a much different game script for Derrick Henry, so getting him at 16 here. I also think Kelsey here is a must draft, or McBride. You have A-Rich, who threw how many passes? He threw 19 passes. Alec Pierce, who might have been 1 year too soon. All right, one team has a QB. If he doesn't go QB, we probably put off QB. He doesn't go QB. If we get one of A-Rich or Daniels back to us, we're pretty happy. But if we also get one of Kelsey or McBride, we're pretty happy. Let's go McBride. We could always pair it with Kyler, and we have Cup. So we can focus this game stack. We also like Worthy too, though. See, you need volume. You need volume for the primetime paloozas, I think, Trevor, is what you're talking about. I'll mix in like 3 to 5, but like I'm not going to be chasing some rare combination because of drafters that don't know what they're doing by either drafting QBs too early or the position not of need, right? And you get some strong combination. There's an edge, but like, God. At $10 a whack and it's luck based on who you're drafting with, I don't love that. I don't love that. God. Let's lock in. I sort of want to lock in Kyler, but we have... Let's get a San Fran piece. It's going to feel pretty bad to not get a San Fran piece, I feel like. Week 2 gives Ayuk some time. We'll see his usage week 1. Unfortunately, I have to start him in redraft. It was either him or Terry McLaurin, so it looks like we made the right call on that. Unless he does worse than Terry McLaurin, who ended up with that a modest 2.7. Yeah, this is nice. Last round, Kyler Murray to pair with McBride in a Cooper Kupp bringback is chef's kiss right there. Typically, we want to be going 2 RBs. I like James Conner, but we knew we were going to be going Kyler, so I don't love doing that. There's so many good scrolls at RB. Tony Pollard, Ford should have a better game script against Jacksonville. Brian Robinson Jr. against the Giants. Stevenson against Seattle. These guys are all in play. Singletary against Washington. Game script wasn't there, but he still ends up with 14 touches. This should be a better game script for Singletary as well. Zamir White against Baltimore is you probably just ignore that one. Smart rankings, and you can probably profit 4 out of 5 slates. Stay out. I did a few. It's just I think that's smart, but you probably need to be dropping how many would you say, Connor, in order to battle the variance of being in rooms with strong drafters and then getting in those rooms with not sharp drafters? How many drafts would you say minimum each week to be profitable in 4 out of 5 because you have to hit a certain number, in my opinion. Is it 50? Is it 100? Like, what is it? So, like, here we end up with a Buffalo triple. Because last week it was the Primetime Palooza was, correct me if I'm wrong, just completely ignore QB. Let's jump in one. Let's jump in one just for fun. Just for Connor. He told us to stay out, so now I'm like, that triggered me. Now I have to draft one. Yeah, I max rankings every 15 to 30. I usually don't like CMC slates, but I like this one. Yeah, there's plenty of options. You need you need him to not blow up the slate, right? Okay, so Primetime Palooza here. Yes, can Josh Allen separate? For sure. Running back. CMC, Breece Hall, Achane. It's a little deeper. You definitely want one running back by, I would say, Mostert. You're probably going to want 2, though, if you want to be very strong. And receivers where you can scroll at your flex, in my opinion. There's Braylon Allen down here. You're going to have plays like Ray Davis, who are also in play. We don't know what the CMC usage is going to be like. Is there a chance that Mason ends up being a bigger part than what we think? Good leverage spot off of CMC. Tight ends. We don't know shit about tight ends. That's if we know anything, it's tight end slates are freaking rough. Jonnu seems like a really nice scroll, though. After the week 1 shitburger he put up. We know it's only one catch and run for Jonnu to get there. It's a lotto, 100%. It's 100% a lotto if you're doing less than 10. Hill goes at 101. I was kind of hoping that we were going to get Hill at 3. Oh, God. Okay. Is he just on auto with ranks? Probably. All right, we're going CMC here. When Josh Allen's off the board, now I basically want to ignore QB. I don't give a fuck about grabbing Tua over Brock over Rodgers. Once Allen's off the board, it's time to go wide receiver and running back heavy. And if I could guarantee myself Debo, I would go running back here with Achane or Breece Hall. If he double taps RB, then we probably make the switch. Yeah, so here I'm going to want Achane. If we get Debo to come back to us, which I doubt happens with the 2 badges in front of us, but let's see. He already has QB. He has rankings up, so this is probably going to be Wilson. Even if we get Ayuk, though, we're feeling pretty good about it. So yeah, see, this is a big mistake. This is a huge mistake. Going Tua there is a big mistake. He could have gotten Waddle and Debo. This gives us Ayuk, which makes this a stronger team than it should be. So that's sort of where the edge is that Connor's talking about. He goes Debo. Would have probably liked him a little better, but let's go Ayuk here. One of these tight ends is nice. A little bounce back game for Kincaid. Kittle against the Jets. Coleman is definitely going to be a sharp click this week as well. And if we bet on a flat slate, we'll grab one of these. And we have to hope basically that, well, we get to pick Purdy. If he doesn't go Purdy here, he already has a tight end. Doesn't mean he can't go 2. But we could risk it for the biscuit and go Purdy. Ooh, he goes Keon Coleman, which is sharp. Mostert's still there too, but we have 2 RBs. We need 2 wide receivers. Can we scroll at receiver like Mike Williams? Reason being, if we get Mike Williams or Kurt, one of these 3 to come back to us, I like going Kincaid. If all 3 of these guys go, Shakir, Mike Williams, and Curtis Samuel, we probably should have just gone with the receiver. That's sort of the way I see it. Mike Williams also opens up a little Rodgers stack at the end. Okay. Oh yeah, we automatically guaranteed Curtis Samuel here because they both had 2 wide receivers. That's another thing you have to look ahead on. So I actually really like that. This guy needs a receiver still. Damn. Damn. I want Purdy here. How do we get Purdy and Curtis Samuel? How do we get Purdy and Curtis Samuel? Can Purdy fail? Of course he can against the Jets. I actually have an under for Purdy under 17.5 fantasy points. Conklin's off the board. He went Johnny. We should have stuck to our guns. Let's see who he's high on at receiver. Maybe he goes Matt Collins here. Matt Collins got in the end zone. Word on the street is he had no shoes on. Yeah. Yeah. These are small edges that you have to look ahead on. But a lot of people draft these on ranks too, so you sort of lose some of that edge. This is Corley. Oh, he goes Lazard. Very, very cool. Very cool. This ends up being a strong team. This ends up being a very strong team. All right, let's draft them. See, the Paloozas are fun because you can draft a ton of them super quick, but I just don't want to invest $500, $1,000 every week on these slates. I know it's profitable, but Cowboys was up there in some of the leaderboards. I don't know. Was it Primetime Palooza, the first one that he maybe took down? Was that the one that Nez got second? Yeah. You know Connor's in the room. You're not going to have a fun time. Not going to have a fun time. Appreciate you, Chad. Get back to the real job. Pretty soon, Underdog might be your real job if you keep cashing Dog Bowl tickets. But yeah, this is some of the stuff you have to look at. And this is where I think drafting them, most of them at least, instead of off of ranks, gives you an advantage because you can squeeze players. You can push players because other players can't draft the tight end or another running back, whatever it might be. But like Mostert shouldn't be a last round guy in this. I know he had a rough week 1. He still should not be going. Give us Hill at 3. You have to... wow. My God. I mean, we're not getting Brees here. There's no way. But one of Brees or Achane would be nice. It's nice to dream, too. Let's see what Cowboys does. I'm going to like Josh Allen, too. On this slate specifically, he can easily separate by 10 points. He's going to double tap. Ooh, he doesn't. Ooh, he doesn't. Achane Hill combo almost took down Battle Royale week 1 for us. So yeah, we're gonna go back to the drawing board here with another Hill Achane combo. Hill Achane with A-Rich just for Baker Mayfield to spoil us. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo us. Give us Cook! Give us Cook! Or Debo. We're cooking. We are cooking. Oh my. And then one of these two. And we're playing ball. Does he find both of these clicks? We want Tua. Where's the Waddle team? He's the Waddle team. You're not getting Tua back to you. If he doesn't go QB, and he shouldn't, because you're going to be so much weaker against the other teams. You're not just drafting against this pod. You're drafting against all 11,000 lineups. Yes! Oh, the Kincaid click. I was hoping. Oh, that's big. That's big. Oh, my! And he goes Tua. So we get the last... we got Rodgers. It's okay. How do we make this work? We get Conklin. Debo scores on the ground. We're double stacking this. Interesting. I didn't see Purdy went at 8. That is disgusting. If we get Conklin, we're definitely feeling a little better, but there's a good chance Conklin goes to squeeze. Either way, this lineup gets his money back. Insanely rude snipe. Yeah, he goes Conklin. Jonnu's in play. Do I really want the Miami triple? I'd rather leverage maybe a touchdown away from Kincaid with Knox. But yeah, some of these side slates are fun, and there's edges in every contest, especially if you guys are watching content, if you guys are sort of breaking down these slates. What's the weak point on this slate? Can Kittle fail against the Jets? Sure. Can Kincaid fail? We've seen it. Conklin, like, you're just fighting for a touchdown at tight end, and you're hoping that no one puts up 16 points. This would have felt a little better if he went Kincaid and then even Ayuk here. We would have happily grabbed probably Keon Coleman in this spot and then came around, grabbed Tua, and then grabbed Jonnu Smith. And that's where, wow, Malik Washington, and he gets Shakir in the last round is like such a gift. But Malik Washington, inactive week 1, hoping we get to see some Malik Washington this year. How many are we at? We'll get up to 10. So that's going to be 7. Active 8. That's 8. 2 more. Let me grab my phone real quick. When the wife calls, you answer? This room sucks. See, this is one of those rooms where you see Glue Eater, you see Al, you see Chad. I don't know which Chad G. Does anyone know Chad G? Dalton Kincaid there seems not sharp. We get the double here with Waddle. God. It probably should just be Waddle here. It's risky. It's risky. It's risky. But guess what? You have to do it. You have to do it. We're game stacking this Miami versus Buffalo game. We're leveraging the Josh Allen touchdowns with James Cook. That's the storyline. That's the story I have to sell, at least. That's the story we have to sell. This team doesn't have a tight end. Do we care about Conk? Probably not. Is there a drop-off after Shakir? We have to hope he doesn't go Tua. Like, he shouldn't go Tua, right? he just shouldn't go Tua. Purdy. Go Purdy, sir. Thank you. Okay. We played that good. We played that really good. We risked it. And sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit here. We are ultra game stacking. We need a low-scoring Jets San Fran game, which could happen. We get the little Tua double here. Ooh, real fun. Conklin goes. Sucks that we're not going to get any piece of the Jets San Fran game. Seems a little thin. Seems very thin, but Tua just goes AWOL for 400 yards. So that's the name of this team. Yeah, it's got to be Jonnu over Knox. You have to think, if Shakir gets there and Knox, there's probably a very high likelihood that you need Allen over Tua. So give me the triple stack with Miami. That's a 3-0 game. Jets San Fran could be a defensive one. So that's the bet on my champions streaks. And how do I find live? Oh, you go to live champions. Here we go. Boys, we need half a yard for 200 bills from CMC. Thank you, Underdog. Nice little 5-piece McNug there. We got a couple. So here is the streaks. We locked in Zach Moss at 68.5 rushing yards under. 68.5 real early on this line, obviously. He drops all the way to 44.5. He ends up with 43. So he goes under the new line before kickoff. Pickens, his line went like down to 52.5, and I was still taking it. It's like he's the only guy there. He has to hit the over. He hit it in the fourth quarter. So he made it a little bit of a scare, but yeah, Purdy here under 17.5 fantasy points. Reason being, Ayuk, not sure how many snaps he's going to get sitting out of camp, looking for that contract extension, as well as the Jets defense. Purdy being a little shaky in training camp as well. I could see it. I could see it. Let's see if the dog bowl, let's see if we have any luck here. Waiting on 2. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Happy days. Happy days. Attack these early ADPs. Attack these early ADPs. We'll see. Tonight, for my bags in Bestball, very happy. Extremely happy with the exposures. Not Stevenson. Well, yes, happy with that. But Rashawn Johnson being a healthy scratch. After seeing what Chicago did on the ground, I'm not overly worried about it. I think there's still plenty of chance for him to get in there. It was not pretty on the ground. Swift, Herbert got 2 touches. So if we were battling this, is it Herbert? Is it Rashawn Johnson all offseason? And it ends up right now after week 1, it doesn't matter at all. Crash Rich is in this room, very sharp. EDN3, definitely a grinder in these streets. DMH, CG, shout out to Chris. Oh, God. Fucking, are you serious? Hey, you're supposed to be at work. We're sending this to the boss. All right, Chad? And then Dave in the 12 spot. Dave had a couple sweats earlier on. Saw him probably halftime in the 4 p.m. games. Having a team very, very close to hitting for the dog bowl. So a lot of ticket winners in last year's contest in this room. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Pick 10 I probably like better than 4, 5, 6. After Lamb, CMC, Breece Hall, Cup are off the board, I do think it's like go get your guy season. Hartman says I'm at work too. Hartman, I always forget. It's DMH, right? You're DMH? It's always when the YouTube name doesn't match the Underdog name, and then they have a different Discord name. It's like, you guys, my brain's not that big. Yeah, this room is disgusting. This room stanks. Johnny in the house. Wally saw the sweat we had in the main BR. That late Mike Evans tutty. it got us good. Yes, I love to see. So Crash Rich, very sharp, knows better than me. He goes Justin Jefferson at 7. I want one of these two. This is where we pull up. Rice goes. Very excited. Very excited. Who do we end up with? We started with Mike Evans in the last Dog Bowl. I would like this to be a chase. Fungool. Back-to-back lineups on Evans. Be the one. Yeah, Chase should be, in my opinion, probably going at 6. Maybe even 5. We're going to end up with a good amount of Chase. I think it's going to be a complete different game script. Yeah. Oh, God. You guys are sick. Absolutely sick. If you guys are just joining me, I haven't asked you yet. Go down, slap the like on the live stream. If you guys enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button. We'll be doing Battle Royale content all season long, just like we did last year. Oh, my God. I didn't even remember that. Why do you have to bring that up? DK with a holding penalty away from the play on a Kenneth Walker touchdown. You can't run bad and expect to finish in the top 3. And Kenneth Walker scoring like 0 points in the fourth quarter. 1.5 points. It's not enough. We were stagnant for 20 minutes. I'm probably going to be Kyren Williams over Pacheco this week. Especially if Puka's out, you're probably going to have to lean into Kyren even more, I would think. Meanwhile, I was jumping for joy, and that's the way it goes. What's good for one is not good for all. Everyone around me, everyone surrounding me on the leaderboard had Mike Evans. Jeez. I thought I was going to drop. After that last touchdown from Baker Mayfield, I thought we were going to drop from 3 to like 170. So I'm thankful that we were still in the $500 prize pool range. Yeah, this is nice for EDN3. Gets that game stack with Chase and Pacheco. You're probably not going to be able to get this later in the week. If I had to guess, if Chase rises and Pacheco goes at ADP in most drafts. But Lamar here at 5 is questionable. Just because you need him to separate from every single other QB on the slate. Can he? Sure. But yeah, let's see if we get some of our plays. Yeah, dude, at least the Pounders like 3rd place and 4th place on the main slate in BR for 7,500 and 5,500. That's a W. Also users of the bestballoverlay.com tool. Might have paid for itself there for some years to come. Kyren and Mike Evans is going to be a fun start. We started the last one with Gibbs and Mike Evans, so we get a little different in this with our second pick with Kyren. Worthy goes at 22. What's the word on Hollywood right now? May debut in week 2. If he does, you're probably going to see a little less Worthy, but not enough to scare us away from a spike week guy like him. Jaden Daniels and McBride. McBride definitely goes too late, so I'm not overly surprised. Wow, the double tight end. He must have just been so thrilled with how the elite tight ends and all tight ends performed week 1 that wow, he just really wanted to jump on those 10-point games. Damn, my team's dead round 1. No, it's not. I would just rather bet against round 1 QBs in this contest where I'm not maxing it. I have to find a way to pull levers that I can put myself in a situation that if I'm correct with my 10 entries, that I have a much better chance instead of spreading the probability graph. He's AFK. Great. Dobbins up the board. Rashad White here. Gibbs, Justin Jefferson. People excited on likely. The 2 spot, AFK. Good for you, dude. $25 drafts. Just let them rip. Just let them rip. Kyler's a fun fucking click there. Who'd we end up with QB at the last one? Bake? I'm going to try not to make this one a Baker Mayfield lineup. Okay. Neighbors here against Washington seems pretty good. Seems like a pretty good spot. Receivers seem to fall off a little bit. You have Godwin. We want to double stack the bake. Double stack the bake. Adams against Baltimore is not that intriguing for me. Let's go neighbors here. See a team play Washington, play the team playing Washington. I'm a simple man. The next best ball overlay update needs to prevent callback touchdowns. When it only favors you, yeah, we'll have that button. That button's coming. That button's coming. Is this the week? Is this the week that Daniel Jones is viable? I mean, 42 attempts. You like to see it. Just the yards, the interceptions, and minimal yards on the ground, which is sort of what we expected for early season Daniel Jones, is for him not to be a big factor on the ground with those injuries leading into the season. Who's there at tight end? I do like some of the scrolls. J-Mo's off the board. I think we can skip this whole group and go a running back. Let's just reach up for K-Walk. It's either K-Walk or we go someone like Bowers there, but if we're expecting Baltimore to put the hammer down on Vegas, maybe we just fade. 16-point total. There are some pretty good scrolls at tight end that I like this week. So tight end last. Once you get away from, excuse me, once you get away from like Andrews, even Ingram, my God, one catch week 1. I don't think he can really have a worse game than that. Once Mark Andrews is off the board, probably just going to scroll. But it's funny, the overreaction to the elite tight ends. Like, I'm going to have a shit ton of McBride this week. I'm probably going to have a lot of Kelsey. My one Daniel Jones team got bottom 100 last week. Yeah, it's crazy. And how about Wan'Dale Robinson? The double stack of Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Jones. All right, it's too much. It's too much. We've gone too far. We've gone too far. Up in 12 picks. A lot of these teams already have tight ends too. So this one team doesn't. Three teams don't have tight ends in front of us, so we can just start to queue up players. Ferguson, I don't think plays. Njoku, also, I don't think plays. I believe this was expected to be a high ankle, which is not ideal. But Njoku is a beast, so let's just sort of wait on that. Colby Parkinson, Pat Fry, Hunter Henry, Juwan Johnson, Conklin, super down the board. These guys are all in play. Chiggy getting in the end zone, but playing the Jets. Theo Johnson dominates tight end reps week 1. Noah Fant's in that conversation as well. Tucker Kraft, no love though. Kind of freaks me out a little bit. Yeah, I didn't think Sinnott. All right. You had Jaceki almost come down with the touchdown in the back of the end zone as well. Couldn't survive the ground. Couldn't survive the ground. These rooms are sharp early because people are trying to get ahead of the ADP advantage. And by doing so, you're really not getting ahead of the ADP advantage because there's just sharp drafters in these. It was almost the week of the wide receiver 2, though, on the team. The way the early touchdowns were falling, Micah Wilson, Shaheed, and then they all slowed down. Njoku is week to week with the high ankle sprain. In 2022, when he suffered a high ankle sprain, he returned 4 weeks later. So, like, let's check something real quick. Can we get New England snap counts? Are they up yet? New England, you had Hunter Henry play 83% of snaps week 1. That's surprisingly high. Surprisingly high. Dave's probably going Trevor Lawrence if I had to guess. If he's even on the board. Let's go Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry played 83% snaps, but Austin Hooper also is out there for 55%. So a lot of 2 tight end sets, which is expected, especially this team that wants to run the ball a lot. The receiver snaps were gross. Olave in the last round seems strong too. Seems very strong. Jake Ferguson, last round click. Again, he can just pick swap. Ferguson probably has a better chance than Njoku to play. Oh, we already have a tight end, right? Yeah. All right. Who do we want here? The bake's there. Or this can be Daniel Jones. I think we just have to ride the hot hand. I think you just ride the hot hand. Daniel Jones is a nice scroll, though, with Neighbors against Washington. Who else do we have? Brissett looked so bad. They want to run the ball. Who's there on the ground? So you have Pollard down here. You have Jerome Ford. And this is why I'm going to want my wide receivers to be strong. I think even waiting on Kenneth Walker and grabbing one of these guys down here is probably a better way to go and get a little stronger at either QB or tight end. Running back in the last round, again, is very, like, Tony Pollard or Ford here it's too big of an advantage. It's too big of an advantage. Bucky Irving stole a good amount of carries. Bucky Irving had 9 carries. He was very involved with 11 touches in week 1 and was efficient. Like, oh, God. Tracy, where's the Tracy boys? Where's the Warren boys? That's a scary one. Check on your fellow streamers and friends that drafted a lot of Warren. Check on your fellow friends. Is this guy he's gonna get like Pickens? He needs a second receiver, so it's gonna be ADP. All right. I'm doing another one because that one didn't feel great. That one did not feel great. And then we're going to have to figure out our pick swap. And that's why I think it's also important. We took a screenshot of this board at the end of the draft to see who was drafted. So if Puka doesn't play, I can go back, see my team, see what the board was, see who was drafted, and then make more accurate pick swaps based on that information is going to be a little edge. And again, like, I think you should be doing that on the phone. You should be doing it anytime you're picking some of these guys that aren't drafted or go drafted and then end up get ruled out like Puka. We'll see. My beloved Warren. All right, we are in a room for another dog bowl because we're sick like that. How much Warren did we end up with in season long? How much Warren did we end up in season long? 3.6 in the 12% Naj. The Zamir. Who else failed in that range? For week 1. Week 1 victory laps here, boys. Swift, Zamir, the Stevenson. Who else was in that range that sucked? Javante. And I'm worried about Javante. I'm worried about Zamir. Not because of how they looked week 1, but, well, that in addition to the usage in game scripts that were close games. That's bad. That's very bad. So, however, the Ferguson thing could kill me. Like, don't be out for some disgusting amount of time, please. Or tight ends just continue to fail. God damn, pick 10 again. You guys trying to punish us for no reason. For no reason. A lot of the same drafters on right now, which this room is probably a little softer, but definitely have some sharp people in here still. Where's our one-on-ones? Show us your Claypool bags. I probably have a Claypool share. Oh, shit. Never forget my 12% Najee, 2% Warren. Pick 2. Johnny, where are you? What's your underdog name? How do I not know? Demetrius in the house. Yeah. DK was being pretty much blanketed. I'm also up by 22 points. You have Kittle, and the other opponent has CMC. Oh, you got it. If Kittle gets you 10, you probably got it. 32 from CMC is a lot, and we don't know about his health. CMC, I mean, can break a slate, so you could get fucked, but that's probably the last person you want to be up against. But I like your chances. All good stuff, fellas. All good stuff. Week 2. Week 2, profitable week 1. Nothing but good vibes. Nothing but good vibes. I'm not going Mike Evans for the 3rd dog bowl draft in a row. That, however, is 100%. So we're going to have to find something. We're going to have to find something. Giants Commanders feels like a lock for 0 passing touchdowns in a game. Oh, shit. I mean, you're not wrong. Charles says, everyone hit the like button. Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing the thing for the YouTube algo. Always, always. Who else? What's another player you guys want to see my exposure on for season-long best ball? I am hoping, because we have a shit ton of Debo. We have a shit ton of Garrett Wilson. We have a shit ton of Breece even. And even This is like 13% in BBM 5. Okay, we're getting one of Chase or Jefferson. Cool. Let's go. You want to see the Mixon exposure? Mixon's probably around 7%. Mixon's at 7%. Is this a little higher in BBM 5? I'm curious. Mixon's going to have these games where he gets in the end zone and 30 touches on the ground. Scary. Scary. This is why it was so hard to go 0 RB. Yeah, so we have 8.7%. We're right at field with BBM 5. Right on field. Let me see you're worthy. Let me see you twerk, basically, you're saying. My 10% worthy. My 18.5% Rice. He's my wide receiver 1, I believe, overall. Yeah, we're happy. We're happy. Downs, come back. Jalen McMillan getting in the end zone early. Ooh. Ooh. JT probably deserves to fall here. Pick 15. I'm probably just going to have to go JT for the difference factor. Andrew in the house, what's up, baby? It's a great day to be alive. Want to see the Bucky exposure? Let's pull up the Bucky. It's probably around, what do we think Bucky's at? 6 to 7%? Yeah. Dude, bestballoverlay.com. You know all your exposures. Like, when they're on the screen when you're drafting, do I wish this was a little higher, seeing him get 11 touches in week 1? Absolutely. Absolutely. However, we're not too far off field. But you get to be a lot more intentional when you're consistently being updated with what your exposures are on these players. And it's so important, especially for us where we put in 11 Gs. Like, very important. And then the combinations tools. Again, we're going to do probably 15, 20 drafts. We're going to upload our exposures and see what our combination is between these players. So you just click right here. Taylor and Chase, 0%. Get to see if it's a unique combination. It's really important when it gets to tight ends. Tight ends and QBs. Like, do you want your favorite stacked receiver, or not, maybe unstacked, just your favorite one-off receiver, one-off tight end, whatever it might be, with like 40% Burrow or something? Like, you want to make sure you don't fall into these weird patterns of ADP. And it should be spread out, especially at volatile positions like tight end, where it can be a scroll that week that gets there. The oops. Where are the receivers? Where are the receivers? Dude, Monty solidified his role in this offense as being just a closer. Like, I think that was always it was always the knock on Gibbs, was having Monty there. And we saw it last night. Achan bags. Achan's probably around 7%. 6.5. 7% in BBM. Oh, wrong page. We were scooping. We faded Achan early when he was going around pick 16. We're scooping him in the mid 20s when he fell anywhere close to 25 to, he was falling to 30 in some rooms. We saw some crazy, crazy falls. Did the Cardinals make it a point to want to get Marvin Harrison some touches in week 2 to get him a touchdown? That's going to be what we lean into on this team. Watch someone go naked, Marvin Harrison, just snipe him. They could. A-Rich QB1. Goddamn, he looked bad as a passer besides that one deep ball he threw. No, my God. Like, why? I get the... All right. Kyler gets in the end zone on the ground. God, the punish. He punished us for no reason. We've been punished. Ingram against Cleveland's not like the most sexy. We're in a blender. Oh my God. Didn't want the Godwin bring back on that 50.5 game total. Jesus Christmas. Lord save you. We'll go Godwin. Godwin put up what, like 18 last night? 18.3. All 8 targets, 8 catches, 83 yards, and a tutty. Getting in the end zone early. Godwin's nice for this team, especially where our other 2 teams have Mike Evans. Sort of leverage those 2 teams. Goddamn. Naked Kyler it is. The double stack with San Fran with Breece Hall. This is a lot of fun from Crash Rich here. Dak and Lamb with who? Jacobs and Kelsey Strong. J-Mo and Aaron Jones. No Dortch. Oh, God. I know. What are you hoping for Dortch, though? Are you hoping for like 14 points? Like, what's Dortch's ceiling? What's Dortch's ceiling? Yeah, always. We're seeing a huge discount on tight ends this week. Like, that is instant overreaction. When Trey McBride's going at 25, can you put us on the left side of the board one time? Oh, God, all 3 dog bowls have been from 6 or 10. Colby Parkinson would have been a nice bring back for us here. All right, we're scrolling again at tight end. We should have just waited. We try to get cute and go Kyler with Marv. We should have just waited for Burrow. I guess. And then we could have gone like a double with Chase and Higgins. Would have felt a lot better. But we get stuck. I'd rather just make the bet instead of Dortch getting there. I'd rather make the bet that Kyler just sneaks into the end zone. Has 50 yards on the ground, gets a tutty on the ground, spreads the ball to Marv and Trey McBride and Michael Wilson and Dortch. No one really separates. That's the bet I'd rather make than Dortch hitting a 13 point game, 14. You need at least. Last week was rare. Last week was a very low scoring week. So, like, on the average, I'm going to have to pull some numbers from last year's data. But on average, I would guess in the dog bowl, you would need about 15 points from your flex. Last week, we saw a lot of 9, 10 getting there. Very low scoring week for touchdowns, especially. Very low week for touchdowns. Let me take a peek at New Orleans real quick. I want to see the snap counts for Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson was out there 35% of the time, returning from injury. I think it is a positive that Hunter Henry was out there 85% of the time. Let me see. Let's get Juwan Johnson one more game. Let's see what his snaps are after next week, and I'll have more. I'm going to mix him in, but here's not my favorite spot. And then let's check out Seattle too with Fant. Fant was out there for 75%. AJ Barner's just the blocker. Giants with Theo Johnson out there 86% of the time. He's going to be a decent scroll, especially against Washington. Could have mixed him in that spot as well. Chiggy gets in the end zone, 59%. How about Chicago? This one, Kmet at 48% of the snaps. 48%. Are you mad yet? Are you mad yet? You had your chance to fade him. That's tough. That's tough. 48% is tough. Oh, God. What happened in Carolina? Jatavian Sanders actually out there 73%. Ravens, I know likely was 60% plus, right? He's 66%. So a lot of 2 tight end sets. Very big positive for likely, especially when they're using Andrews to block. You will get a different game script this week, though. Who else you guys want to see? We'll be enjoying Burrow here shortly. Oh, fuck me. I really blew it. Trying to get cute with the Kyler Marv. Really blew that. Do it again. Who else do we want to see? Nelson Aguilar. So this is the thing, and we covered this a lot. Nelson Aguilar. Are you going to play him or Isaiah Likely? And this was the risk. If you weren't drafting Likely in the offseason and you were thinking Nelson Aguilar was going to play more than Likely, this was the risk that you get a very good tight end too. Even if you get those random spike weeks, not every week's going to be like that for Likely. Not every week's going to be that bad for Andrews. But if you can get 3 spike weeks, 4 spike weeks from Likely at his ADP for season long, like, the fade is scary. Now, 2023, those snaps were really low for Likely. So, until Mark Andrews went down, you had Likely playing 33, 23, about 25% of snaps, which is not ideal. So you did have to do a little bit of critical thinking and say, can I afford Likely in this team to not see that he is a better option in the passing game than Nelson Aguilar, who played more snaps than him last year? Because at this point with these snaps, he was just a handcuffed tight end. If they did the exact same thing as last year. So I wasn't overly confident that they weren't going to use Likely. I thought we've seen it that they didn't. I think I ended up around 8%. We ended up around 9%. The risk was too high for them to have Likely out there on the field. And then Mark Andrews getting hurt, the upside is too high of having Likely in that situation as well. But yeah, Likely's going to be he's going to be good for season-long advance rates. Short King Summer's really done. Nah, dude, it's like Wan'Dale Robinson. Pulling 12 targets is something. How did the Lions RBs split? You know what? I think the end of the game is really going to change how it looks. This is 2023. It's 50-50, but until that point, until that last drive, how many plays was that? How many plays till they got in? Was it like 8? Gibbs was out there on a couple, but it was largely Montgomery. It was probably 6 snaps to 2 snaps for Gibbs. How many snaps did? Probably 8 to 10. They got down the field. But Monty, he looked good. He looked fresh. And that's what this team wants to do. They don't want to overuse one guy, especially in week 1. You have to think that Gibbs eventually will be getting more snaps towards the end of the season. When David Montgomery starts to slow down, Gibbs has the fresher legs. That's what you're probably happy with Gibbs' performance in week 1 for the amount of snaps. But 15 touches for Gibbs week 1. You can't be too mad at that. Yeah, I was close. So Monty got 5 touches in OT. Gibbs got 2. I was close. Dude. Oh, shit. Now, that's one that that's one that I was like, I was very afraid of in the second round. This, I think I said it all year, and I end up getting close to 8%, which I'm so mad at myself for fading him all year, and then at the end kind of conforming to some of the sharps or the sharp websites, whatever it might be. But being at 2% for most of it, where are we at in BBM? Did we take our stand in BBM? How come I can't find it? Here it is. 2-make contest. All right, we took our stand in BBM. I'm happy with it. I think it's even less in the big board. He's going to have his weeks. Like, week 1, it's like, do we expect a Monra to have that shit of weeks every single week? Like, no. So, +1 for the dog bowl if you guys want to get in this one. Better weeks are ahead for Olave, and that's coming from an Olave fader. So, this dome game against Dallas is probably a pretty good game script for them. CMC 101. We've paid our dues. Oh my God. Oh, it's just not meant to be. It's not meant to be today, boys. We weren't meant to stream. We streamed on the wrong day. Shout out to Cheese in here with us. Crash is here again in the back. He's going to be in every single draft today. DMH in a live stream. EDN3. Tube, who stole Marvin Harrison from us because he just loves that one catch game. Lee's at 11 and Chris G's at 12. Oh, shit. They didn't say it was going to be easy. All right, so we're going to get CMC at the 8 spot. He doesn't have to have his weeks. This slate is brutal. Sharps took Olave from 4% to 8% by the end. Oh. And that's the thing, boys. Whether it's me or anyone else, like, you have to really believe in that player, because at the end of the day, this money is your own and the take has to be your own. You really have to buy in. Now, there's 2 sides to every single player. You should be listening to both and then make up your decision. But it looks like Nico is going to be hitting pretty hard. Those splits were awesome. And I think this was even better for Tank Dell. We had the Texans. Texans wide receivers. Houston. 63%, 77%, 80%. Pretty nice. Pretty damn nice. A lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Cup goes at 2. I could see that. The drop off after 4 is painful. But guess what? We're just going to continue on. We're just going to continue doing what we're doing. Brees Hall goes at 5. Oh. Now, Tennessee does have a good O-line. Or D-line, excuse me. So maybe that factored in for him, but There also are more available running backs late than there are receivers, so it does feel good to get that elite receiver. Cheese, I think, is in here with us. How are you feeling about the Colts wide receivers? There will be better days. There will be better days. Fuck. I wanted Chase there. Start with 2 Evans lineups. Start with 2 Chase lineups. Are we really going 3 Mike Evans teams out of the 4 Dog Bowl starts? It seems like pain. Let's go Garrett Wilson. Let's get off the Mike Evans click once. Where I'm only doing 10. Do I really want 30% of my drafts to have Mike Evans? Maybe. If he goes off, 100%. 100%. But the Colts wide receivers, like, God, it probably looks really bad for Pittman. I would say that's the player I'd be most worried about. And I'm excited for when Josh Downs comes back. I mean, we have a ton of Josh Downs. Doesn't mean it's going to hit, but ooh. Okay, so you're getting the QBs to fall in these sharper rooms. Kyron's off the board with Debo. We're going to have the option to grab Derrick Henry, which won't be unique from... I do like the game script in this one better. I don't think you're going to see as much of the passing down back in a game script where they should be ahead, they should be leading. And we get to leverage at the same point. You get to leverage the Lamar teams. Getting those rushing tutties. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, right? Like Alec Pierce, were we 1 year too soon? Malik Willis has an ADP. Oh shit. Malik. Not in Dog Bowl. He probably has one in Battle. He's here at least. He's draftable. It's scary though. We'll see. I guess he missed AD quite a few times. Just could have been wide open tutties. He hits Alec Pierce, which was an insane throw. How far that went in the air for a very accurate deep shot touchdown. It's going to be probably pretty shaky for the receivers. That's why we liked Downs going the latest. Ah, God. Not the run out we needed in the last 5 minutes of the Tampa Bay game. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Baker Mayfield of all people. Bake, you owe me 7 G's, boy. You owe me 7 G's. I drafted him, so he'll have one when it refreshes. All right. All right, we'll wait on it. We'll wait on it. He's one that could get there on the ground. Sneaky. Is it stacked or unstacked? It's got to be unstacked. Dude, I feel bad for you, Connor, man. I know those Green Bay bags are so freaking thick. I feel bad. It's tough. That's a bad run out. Like first game, QB injury, Malik plus Reed. Yeah. Hey, it worked week 1. He looked fast too. Reed looked really good. Reed looked really good. Oh, God, this right side of the board is so fucking disgusting. We're so ready to draft on the left side of the board now. James Conner sharp there. James Conner sharp there. 21 touches for Rashad White. Also like Alvin Kamara here too. Let's go with Kamara here. Let's go with Kamara. People might have celebrated Kamara a little too early as well. In the first half, I think close to the first half, he had like 70 yards on the ground, like looked like he was going to have an absolute blow-up game. Ends up coming back down to earth, finishes with 83, but they didn't need him, so game script being that far ahead, New Orleans probably, I don't know if they're going to be that far ahead of another team all year. So maybe he stays in the game script, playing from behind. You're hoping to get those dump offs to Kamara, which looks like it's going to be another year of dump offs. Yeah, this is this is the combo we wanted that we couldn't get. Kyler, Kyron, and Marv. Nicely done. Nicely done. Let me peek at real quick. Let's go to the Jags. Evan Ingram was out there 68%. Let's go, Bowers here. We have Henry. Playing from behind. Them running out the clock with Henry. Having to throw the ball to catch up with Bowers. Let's play off this. Receiver here is really nice too. Olave is probably our click if we don't have Alvin Kamara. Could we have gone both? Certainly. We have some options though. Big Kamara again, like high median score is more important for Dog Bowl than it is for Battle Royale. Battle Royale, you're looking for those guys that can go boom. The higher boom score, the higher boom rate. Here you're trying to create those teams, but also just having a high median. Betting on those outcomes like elite tight ends failing or elite QBs failing, it being a more flat slate, correlating those lineups. I mean, it worked literally last week. We got both at the same exact time where there weren't enough QBs that separated. You could have Jaden Daniels. Oh! Puka diagnosed with sprained PCL could land on the IR. Jordan Love isn't going on the IR. Damn. Yeah, he aggravated the same knee. Malik got the go-ahead if Love's not good, which makes sense. It's just, I also heard that Green Bay's reached out to Ryan Tannehill. Oh. Who was I most disappointed about in week 1? Ooh, probably Amon-Ra. I'd say Amon-Ra, but I'm not worried about it. I also got extremely lucky. In the Eliminator, where we had 19% Amon-Ra, 101 teams, we have 14 teams that are out of the top 12. So anything under 16% is good. But we also have a lot of Debo, a lot of Ayuk, some CMC. So looking into those teams further, I think we end up with 10 to 11 teams that get knocked out. And Amon-Ra is a big reason for those. But maybe that ends up being an advantage with the lower advance rate Amon-Ra as we get closer to the end of the season. One more RB's coming off the board. Or is this going to be a receiver? Is someone going to snipe me? Is this team going to snipe me on Aaron Rodgers? Like, do I have to worry about my stack with Aaron Rodgers being in jeopardy here? Yes. Yeah, a lot of wide receiver 1s and 2s busted. Yes. All right. We're pulling in the game stack here. Also like Stevenson so much. I like them both. I also like Ford. Oh, we can't go RB. Man, these guys are so... This is why you want RB last, though. Seriously. Seriously. All right, we didn't get Chase. So this is going to be the Higgins lineup. McConk gets in the end zone. Let's ride that hammy, baby. Let's ride that hammy. Who's going to be some of our favorite scrolls here? Always thinking about pick swaps, too. It looks like BTJ should be a pretty easy pick swap. He should definitely be on the list. Demarcus Robinson, if you have the Puka. Puka sitting out. Wan'Dale Robinson getting 12 targets is going to be an option. We do eventually get that Cincy piece against KC. Tua Burrow. Monty, Pacheco, McLaughlin, Edwards, Warren. Hill, Rice, Godwin, Coleman, Metcalf, Kittle. I'm probably just dropping Jonnu Smith and picking up a RB2 on a team. Like tonight, I would drop Jonnu Smith for Mason if Mason's not picked up. Anything happens to CMC, like it's gonna be much more important that you have Mason on the bench, who you could just drop for another RB2. But the RBs are looking a little shaky. Receivers, depending on how many teams, if it's 12-team league, you're probably doing all right. But you definitely don't like the Warren. You definitely don't like the Warren usage. Warren could be droppable in a few weeks. Yeah, he's gone. I'd be looking at picking up RB2s and offenses. And if an injury happens to the starter, like it's going to be much more important to have Bucky Irving on your bench instead of someone like Jonnu Smith. 10-team league, I think it's a little weak. I think it's a little weak. Burrow here against KC or Rodgers against Tennessee. Let's go, Rodgers, just in case T. Higgs doesn't play. We don't have a naked Joe Burrow team, and we could just pick swap T. Higgs. Yeah, all Green Bay players for me are probably going to be out this week. Pick swap to a little double stack with Mike Williams here. I hope someday you're able to do individual pick swaps for each draft. That's my hope for Underdog, to eventually release that. These drafts on the right side of the board seem really bad, though. They seem really bad. Gonna screenshot this one. Again, anytime I have a player that has a chance of needing a pick swap, I'm going to be screenshotting these drafts so I can see how many, what the board looked like, who's available, who my QB was, all that stuff. Come on, make the pick. Don't be scared. Zach Ertz, huh? That was the one. We'll label this one Higgins. And I'll just look in my folder. I'll have one for Higgins. I'll have one for Puka, although that Puka team's probably the only Puka team I draft. That's the news we were waiting for. And we got it a little earlier. Earlier's the better. I mean, Cup definitely belongs at either 2 or 3. I would say certainly now. This is the one. This is the one. Put us on the left side one time. One time for the live stream. How's the Eliminator looking? Really good. For having 19% of Mon-Ra, I think I'm going to end up with 11 out of 101 that don't advance, which is under the 16%. With having 19% on Mon-Ra, I'm very lucky. There's no way you gave me 7. There's no way. There's no way you gave me pick 7. I've already had pick 7. Like this. Coop, what are you doing there at 2, bro? Coop, who do you think you are? Coop, let's trade places. Let's trade places. Oh, me, oh my. All right. It's okay. It's okay. I know who we want, and we want who we know. Now we just need him to fall to us. How are your guys' eliminators looking? Because I dove too deep into the elims. I looked too far into it, where I was like, okay, how many teams do I not have advancing? How many points do I have? How about the last place in that team? Does that team have any players left? And the right teams have players left to play for me. See what Coop does here at 2. Yeah. Cup. I'm probably still going to be Lamb at 2, but I get it. I get it. Puka to IR. I definitely luck out where we were drafting Garrett Wilson over Puka all year in BBM and season long. So I get lucky on that. There's no victory lap to injuries, but we can definitely admit when we get lucky. I'm probably just going to have Chase one spot above Jefferson. There was a little concern with Burrow when he came off the field. He put a glove on. He was flexing his wrist. There's clearly some soreness there, but he's going to have to throw the ball against KC. It's just the way it is. He's going to have to throw the ball. And actually, let's have a peek here at the Cincinnati Bengals snaps. Chase was out there 84%. Yoshi was out there for 100%. What did Yoshi end up with? He ended up with 6 targets, 3 catches, 26 yards. Pats have a strong D though, so does KC. Yeah. Just wait. Just wait. Really, I don't dive into anything until like week 14, but week 1's always like so exciting to see what you have. It's always so exciting to see what you have. Yeah, Chase got gonzoed hard. Coming off an ACL. Christian Gonzalez is that guy. Indeed, he is that guy. He is that boy. Okay. I like this draft better already. I'm between these two. We get our pick. The one thing that Debo does is leverage CMC on some of those games. He steals the rushing tutty. Question is, if he doesn't get those early touchdowns, if this game gets out of hand, Like, is it competitive all the way through the fourth quarter? Like, probably not. But 43 team point total. I'm surprised that this is only 4 for San Fran. So let's go Garrett Wilson here. Pats have a strong DA, buddy. They have to have something. They have to have something. They definitely don't have strong receivers. That's for sure. Polk actually got more snaps than I thought he would, and he had 1 catch. 1 target, 1 catch. All the Pats receivers would be mixed in, though, at like a 40 to 60% rate. Tyquan Thornton back from the dead, but didn't do anything. I think this is where I want to be. At least 1 receiver. I probably want to have 2 receivers through 3 rounds this week in about 50% of my drafts. The ones I don't have an elite QB, elite tight end. And then after that, like the last 50%, like I'm going to have some double RB. I'm going to have some RB. I'm going to have a lot of drafts, though, with RB in the 6th round. That's my goal this week. That's my goal this week. And this is a sharp room. This is another sharp room. At this spot, Jacobs or Garrett Wilson, we're probably going Jacobs there. Jacobs has an ADP of 28. Like, he goes way, way too late. And that's like we're trying to get some of these ADP boosts, get ahead of the curve, but the ADPs are going to shift so fast, and people are already adjusting. It's hard to get in rooms right now that aren't sharp. Like, it doesn't exist. Every single room's filled right now. People are trying to get ahead of these ADP curves. There's just too many sharp people in the rooms right now. Rashad White off the board. Who's there left? Kamara's still there. Ayuk's gone. I don't mind going Kittle here. Where we passed on Debo. Let's bring in Kittle. We won't go scroll on tight end on this lineup. We've done a lot of scrolls. Got a lot of light tight end. We didn't get Colby Parkinson. Like, I want some Colby Parkinson this week. We have a couple Hunter Henrys. We'll have to see the snaps on Juwan Johnson week 2. You have to think they were just easing him in from the injury. Getting 35%. C40 in the house. What's up, baby? Would you ever mix in Eckler? Giants have a decent O-line, D-line, but bad coverage. Brian Robinson was actually pretty good in the passing game. I would hold off on Eckler right now. I would hold off on Eckler. He was out there for 53%, but how many touches did that turn into? It turned into 6 touches. So when he was out there, he wasn't getting the ball the majority of the time. Robinson out there 56%, and he had like 16 touches. He had 15 touches. Of course, Tampa Bay's defensive line is historically good against running backs, so maybe that has something to do with it, but you don't love that for Eckler. All right, this is how we want to play it. This is how we want to play it. Now let's see how it turns out. We probably want to go QB last year with Rodgers, with Burrow with Purdy. We have 3 options. We have 3 good options. We want to go RB. 1, 2, 3 teams can't go RB in front of us. Kamara here against Dallas is going to be the first one for us. Pick 42. Yes, please, and thank you. One, 2, 3. We'll see who comes back to us. There's a couple options I'm thinking of right now that are really good. I like this team. This is much better than the other 3 we just did. Who is this for? Huckleberry? No, it was a shoulder, not ACL. Oh, Gonzalez. Yeah, it was... Copy. Who tore the ACL in the Pats last year? Wasn't Judon. Judon tore a bicep. Maybe no one. Couple RBs off the board. Kenneth Walker and Najee. Check on your Warren friends, the Najee usage. 21 touches. And Justin Fields probably hurts Najee. So if you're expecting Russ back this week, I would say the checkdowns will probably go up. 4 touches for Warren. What was the snaps there? You knew you were going to see some Cordell Patterson, too. You knew it was coming. No one could stop that. Kendrick Bourne, thank you. Thank you. Kendrick Bourne. How many teams behind me need a QB? 1, 2, 3 teams behind us need a QB. Stevenson off the board. You freak? Okay, we get whoever we want at running back. I probably like Jerome Ford over Aaron Jones this week, which is scary to say. It's scary to say. We also have Tony Pollard there. Going Jerome. We're going Jerome Ford. And we're going to pray that we get a neutral game script. Jerome Ford was sort of taken out of the game on the ground, with Deshaun Watson just looking like complete ass. So we're hoping for a little better game script in this one. But he still had, how many touches? Still had 18 touches. And even if he just gets undrafted a little more than Aaron Jones, if he goes undrafted a little more than Tony Pollard, I'll be happy. And I think you get more Jerome Ford teams on this side of the board as well than you do in the middle. Yeah, I took Ford in a few dog bowls already. He's a sneaky scroll. He's going to move up. Like, he'll probably be around 88% drafted. I do think people are going to start mixing him in. All right, we get one of these two. Who do we want? Burrow? I mean, we're leaning into Chase hitting, right? And hitting in a big way. Watch them go back to back. This is probably a Sam Darnold click. Or Trevor Lawrence. It's just tough. Like, it's got some tough matchups here. DK against New England. Ingram against Cleveland. Ooh, and he gets Daniel Jones. Oof. Oof. He goes T-Law. Okay, makes sense. We're leaning into the Burrow. We already have a Rodgers stack, which is nice too. So let's bring in Burrow with Jamar Chase. We don't have the Casey bring back. Where's Worthy going in these? He's going at 23. Kelsey went at 27 in this one. You're going to see some of these tight ends slide. He fell 7 picks. McBride, I want to say this is 3 or 4 drafts in a row that McBride has been paired with CMC. That makes me want to come off of that. If it's going to be that common, that makes me want to come off of that. This is the second time in a row, second draft in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong. CMC, J.K. Dobbins, and Trey McBride. I like what we did here, though, with Dak and Brandon Cooks. Like, that will get you unique. That will get you unique. And then with Ferguson being hurt, like, Brandon Cooks probably gets an uptick. Tolbert gets a small one. CeeDee Lamb, if you can even give this guy an uptick. Schoonmaker's a nice little scroll. Hello. Yeah, it seemed like it was a team doctor decision versus a Russell Wilson decision. It seemed like Russ really wanted to play. He was out there before everyone on the field practicing. They're just playing it safe. They also didn't have like the craziest opponent, so they probably figured they could sneak out the win with Justin Fields. Let's check out Chicago. Keenan Allen playing the least amount of snaps week 1 is probably concerning if you're a Keenan Allen bag holder. Directionally accurate, dare I say, on a... Here, let's refresh. I don't know why the page is like that. The Chicago fade. Rashawn Johnson not dead yet. It's not dead until he's dead. CD Dobbins, McBride in one with you. So maybe McBride should be brought up to the right side of the board. I think in seeing that, how many drafts in a row, him going to the 101, that means there's probably a big edge in dragging him to the right side. All right, we'll do one of these while we wait for that dog bowl to fill. +3. Maybe it'll fill faster than I thought. +4. Someone's definitely in the live stream just fading the room. +1 if you guys want a main slate draft. We get the 4 spot here too. It's okay. It's okay. It's just one of those days. 4 spot is not bad. Give me one of these 4. 5 and 6 seem tough, but Coop in here at 3. Crash is doing these as well. Just an absolute savage. An absolute savage. And let's pull up this. Make sure we don't miss the dog bowl draft. That's starting in 2. A lot of sharp drafters on Contest Open. And if you guys are only doing a few of these a week, a good way to get practice in is actually doing, what is it called, the goal line stand, which I believe is the 12-person one-off contest of basically, goal line stand, $9 entry instead of $25, and it's a 12-person draft. So it's the same exact rules and regulations as the dog bowl. There's no way we got pick 6 again. There's no way. There's no way. What dog bowl number is this for us? There's no way. Oh, man, the 6th dog bowl. And we have 0 in the top 5. All right. That's enough. You guys give me Brees Hall here at 4. Brees Hall it is. Against a tough Tennessee D-line. Thing is, he should just be able to get a ton of checkdowns too. So it's kind of hard to see Brees, failing, even against a tough Tennessee game. The run should be in play. This game should be pretty tight, I would think. 19-23. Also want to check D-Hop too. What was D-Hop mixed in at? D-Hop saw 27%, so you're going to see an uptick here. Burks, I don't think, did anything with his snaps, which shouldn't be surprising to anyone. Shouldn't be surprising to anyone. Let's go Chase here. Okay. Let's go. Let's get an Amon Rusher. At least we get a little different from the other drafts. Damn, we've been live for 2.5 hours. No way. No way. Time flies when you're ripping these. Holy smokes. If you guys enjoy the content, please go down, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. We'll be covering these slates every single time on Contest Open on Mondays. And then if you guys enjoy the overlay, bestballoverlay.com, grab the edge over your fellow drafters. Promo code Pounders, all caps. Brings it down to $20 a month. It's premium product. $20 a month is insane. See what Coop does here. He goes Daniels. We're going to go Mahomes. And we're praying. We're absolutely praying we get one of Kelsey or Worthy. If we don't, like, kind of unlucky, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Kyron and Rice. Nice little 1-2 banger there at 12. He's already got a tight end. Don't double tap tight end, boy. Gibbs has fallen in this room. QJ's usage. That's probably not a good sign that he didn't take advantage of it. Probably not a good sign. Let's go. Let's go. Little KC stack with Mahomes at pick 16. And Chase is the bring back. Play ball. Ooh, we wanted one of Pacheco or Debo. Are we just going to have a shit ton of Garrett Wilson? I think you have the advantage of not seeing Garrett Wilson play yet. This could also be an A-Rich click. Let's go A-Rich in this spot. We have 2 Garrett Wilson teams already. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. We'll take Josh Jacobs at 28. He shouldn't be going at 28 this week. Do we have a scroll option that we like for this team? Receiver's tough. The receiver scroll's tough. Wan'Dale Robinson. If Ayuk comes back to us, We're insta-clicking Ayuk. This guy, please go running back or something. Is he on auto? No. Bake. He has the double. This is a classic DFS tactic where you just copy exactly what worked last week. The Baker double. Who Hames in the house? What's up, dude? Who Hamus? I always feel like I just make up a pronunciation for your name every time you come in. Yes. Oh my baby Jesus. Ayuk, Chase, Kelsey, Brees Hall, Jacobs, and Mahomes. This one gets starred. This one gets starred. Little KC stack with the Chase bring back. And it's not even like, there's nothing too crazy here besides Mahomes going to 16. And then Ayuk falling to 33, which is interesting. Even if you see him play like 60% of snaps this week, tonight, I should say, and he has a bad game, you probably do get Ayuk to fall because people not seeing, like, he didn't play training camp, right? So they already said that he's not going to be at full go. And even Underdog has the note. But people might overreact to that news after week 1. I love this start from Cheese. Cup, McBride, Jacobs. Like, oh me, oh my. Put us on the left side of the board. One time for the boys. Kelsey, Laporta. You have to think this is a Mark Andrews click. Oof. This guy's on auto, right? With ranks or just no ranks. But you have to limit yourself to one tight end. Jesus. This is not an insta-click, I guess, for Mark Andrews? For Lamar? I don't know. Tough sale. He goes Dobbins! Sorry. You gotta laugh sometimes. You gotta laugh. Zay Flowers and I'm between Zay or elite tight end. Let's just go the elite tight end. Let's go Kittle. Adam in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you had a good week 1. Battle Royales. Zay Flowers just seems too heavily tied to Lamar spike weeks. I'd rather just double tap or get one more receiver down here. Whether it's Higgins, Deontay Johnson on bounce back week. Dude, New Orleans has a good D, but holy shit, did Bryce look bad. Bryce looks so bad. Oh, nice. Just easing back into it. It's nice to actually see how week 1's going to shape up. Dude, the Pick'em channel in the Discord, absolutely eating. Absolutely eating. Another 5-piece hitting tonight if CMC can get over a half-yard rushing. Imagine the Rodgers line from last year that missed. I don't know if they honored that. I forget. Let's see what Coop does here at the 12. Got me a Dream Murray Cup McBride in the dog bowl this morning. God damn. Real nice. Did you get Kyler at 47 or did you reach up for Kyler at 26? Like, who was your 3rd round pick? I missed a 35x with the lad, 39.5 over. Oh, I feel you, dude. We had 2 Bijan lines for $800 if he got 1 more yard rushing. Otherwise, it could have been an insane day, and instead it was just a very good day. Kyler and Bowers. Okay, I like who's coming back to us. Holy smokes. Give us one of these guys. It's like one of 3 people I'm just eyeing right now. Just give us one of them. We're 1 sub a dub away from 2,060, boys. Appreciate you guys. Evan, yes. Draft those tight ends. It's going to fall off. Colby gone. Tight end's going to fall off. Draft the second one. Ah, there goes White. There goes 1 click. I mean, we're happy. We're happy with one of these 3. Take your pick. Godwin's the bring back. Pittman also goes super far down the board. I like him better on a stacked. Devontae Adams. Going Godwin over Devontae Adams feels wrong. It feels wrong. Up like 200 units since following Drew's picks is insane just this year. I use the Pickett app that tracks your pick'ems. 100%. The Pickett app, you just log into your Underdog, it connects it, and it tracks all your pick'ems. If you do pick'ems without any sort of plus EV betting tool, log in and pick it if you think you're doing good, or even if you think you're doing bad. Just see what you're actually at, because you could lose a lot of money very quickly on pick'ems. Download the Pickett app. I fully recommend it. I'm no sponsorship, nothing. It's completely free. It will tell you your daily, like your bets that day and your plus minus for the month. It'll go all the way back through your history. It's awesome. It's great. You should be tracking your bets. That's someone that is not getting any money to say anything. Actually, I don't get any money from anyone to say anything. And Bestball Overlay is something that I'm partnered on. So, part owner of, I should say. And I wouldn't push that if I didn't believe in it. But just getting all this information week 1 is so important. I'm going to look this stuff up anyways, but to have it on the screen all in one place when I'm drafting. And then after day 1 of drafting, I'm going to download my CSV. I'll be able to see my combinations between players. If I'm too heavy on, if I have like a ton of Amon-Ra, whoever you want a lot of week 1, Cup, let's say. How much McBride do you want on those Cup teams? Or how much Kelsey do you want on those Cup teams? It shouldn't be at 50%. Like there's no reason one single tight end should be that high on one of your highest owned guys. And you can actually get in these little ADP grooves, right? That it becomes a negative. Like you just, based on ADP, you just happen to be clicking a high percent of, let's say, George Kittle with Cup. And you might have 18% Kittle. So you think, oh, like, yeah, I'm at Fields, like I'm at where I want to be when you're checking your exposures, but your combination percent with the player might be way out of whack. And that's where it really quickly identifies that. Let's go Stevenson here. Yeah, the calendar thing's cool. I would like Pittman for this team. I'm not going to draft a ton of Pittman when I don't have A-Rich, especially. But I like Pittman for this team. Logan in the house. What's up, dude? Logan, what did you cash this week? Did you have a top 3 finish? Did you 101 something? Trying to remember. So many lineups hitting for the Pounders in the Discord. It's hard to keep track of you boys. Everyone just having great success week 1. Not everyone, but a good portion. A lot of high finishes for the Pounders, which is sick. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, link in the description. Link is in the live chat. hop on in, join the fam. Also known as the best place to sweat the games live. And the lineups. Third place in the main slate. Best believe I was in there with you boys. First and second didn't have K-Walk, like we could have solo shipped. But that's all you can ask for, is to give yourself a chance, right? That's all you can ask for. Another Shoemaker. He's not going to be undrafted, but he definitely won't be. Probably be near what? 60%, 70%. He's going to be mixed in more. Like once he gets an ADP and this updates, if Ferguson gets ruled out, if Njoku gets ruled out, he's going to move up the board. He's going to be up here with Conklin, Henry, Freiermuth. I think Disley falls. So there's still some updating with ADPs that you're going to see. Shoon's incredibly sharp, yeah. Ertz off the board. I think we do just go 3 wide receivers here. We're typically going to want a lot more 2 RB builds. Like Tony Pollard here is really nice. Devin Singletary is nice. Even ETN. I mean, if he doesn't fumble that tutty in the end zone. Let's go Pittman. We're making the bet on A-Rich. But that's going to wrap this one up, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out 2.5 hours on the live stream. Week 2, Battle Royales, Dog Bowls. We're going to be drafting some more teams tomorrow. I think we might have a little winner circle guest tomorrow. Someone that finished in the top 4 of the main slate. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good one. Happy drafting. Pounders.